Right friends, welcome back to 15th week part 2 of question and answer session. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and let us look into some 32 questions in this part 2. Name the e-commerce company which tied up with Mumbai Dabbawalas to strengthen the last mile delivery of goods to consumers. Who are Mumbai Dabbawalas? We have already discussed in the previous classes. Mumbai Dabbawalas, almost 5,000 in number, carry daily 2 lakh lunch boxes across various parts of Mumbai. With the utmost precision, they carry lunch boxes across Mumbai, almost 2 lakh lunch boxes every day. With utmost precision, their work became the case study in business schools. Now, India's famous e-commerce firm Flipkart tied up with the Mumbai Dabbawalas to have last mile connectivity, because this Dabbawalas connects several people every day. That's why to use their services recently Flipkart tied up with Mumbai Dabbawalas. Right? Look into the next one. Ace Indian shuttler Saina Nehwal dropped to second position in Badminton World Federation rankings. Recently, she lost in the semi-finals of Malaysian Open. She lost in the semi-finals, and subsequent to her loss, her ranking came down to second. This Badminton World Federation reviews rankings almost every week, depending on the victories and losses of the players. Saina Nehwal became number 1 during the last week of March in the world. We have already discussed that previously. Now she dropped to second position after her loss in the Malaysian Open Badminton Championship. These ranks are reviewed almost every week. This Badminton World Federation we have already discussed. The body based in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, right? Look into the next one. Name the state government which proposed to set up memorial to R.K. Laxman in JJ School of Arts. R.K. Laxman, famous cartoonist who expired recently. He depicts common man in his cartoons, and the Maharashtra government decided to set up a memorial to R.K. Laxman in JJ School of Arts. Jamshedji Jijibhai School of Arts is the oldest art institute in Mumbai, established in 1850s, and memorial for R.K. Laxman is going to come up in that institute. Maharashtra government decided to construct a memorial. Friends, look into the next question. For central government employees, dearness allowance has recently increased by, the answer here is 6%. For central government employees, the dearness allowance is increased once in 6 months. Every year, the dearness allowance is increased 2 times, and recently, Government of India increased the dearness allowance for government employees by 6%. That means the allowance will increase from 107% to 113%. 2 things I would like to tell you. The increase is normally based on consumer price index for industrial workers. Consumer price index for industrial workers. The second point I would like to tell you is for the working employees, it is known as dearness allowance. For the retired employees, it is known as dearness relief or DR. DA is for working employees, dearness relief is for retired employees. These 2 words please don't forget. Look into the next one. Which of the following will regulate and refinance microfinance institutions in future from the date of government notification? Recently, Mudra Bank was inaugurated, and The basic purpose of Mudra Bank is to regulate and refinance and to act as a collateral guarantee for the borrowers when they take loan from microfinance institutions. So far, microfinance institutions are regulated by Reserve Bank of India, and in future, subsequent to the notification, Mudra Bank will act as regulator for microfinance institutions. What is microfinance institution? Microfinance institution is the institution which is into small loans to borrowers, small value loans to borrowers. Previously, the limit of individual borrower was 50,000 rupees. Now, the limit is increased to rupees 1 lakh. Right? So, in future, subsequent to the notification, Mudra Bank will act as regulator for microfinance institutions instead of Reserve Bank of India in future. Look into the next one. Who is elected the president of CII for 2015-16? What is CII? CII is Confederation of Indian Industry. It is the body for development of industrial sector in the country, established in the year 1895, headquarters in Delhi, and every year it elects president, and new president for the year 2015-16 is Sumit Majumdar, CMD of Tractors India Limited. Sri Sumit Majumdar is the CMD of Tractors India Limited, and the outgoing president is Ajay Shriram. Right? Look into the next one. Who got the CII President's Award? For outstanding contribution to Indian industry and society. CII President's Award for outstanding contribution to Indian industry and society was recently given to Azim Premi of Wipro. Azim Premi of Wipro recently got CII President's Award. Look into the next question. As per the MMDR Act 2015, we have already discussed in previous lectures what is MMDR Act. MMDR Act, which was passed by Parliament recently, looks into the allotment of various minerals like copper, zinc, iron ore by state governments. And as per this act, each state has to set up District Mineral Foundation, basically to look into the resettlement of the persons affected by the excavation of minerals. To look into the resettlement and rehabilitation of persons affected by the excavation of minerals, the Act proposes to set up District Mineral Foundation. Right? Look into the next one. Lending by microfinance institutions. Microfinance institutions are small ticket loans, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 to persons normally from weaker sections of society. Because banks may not reach to each and every customer of weaker sections, that's why microfinance institutions look into this aspect. So far the regulator is RBI. The question here is, lending by microfinance institutions to eligible borrowers increased from rupees 50,000 to rupees 1 lakh. Important decision taken by RBI recently. The individual loans to borrowers by microfinance institutions increased from 50,000 to 1 lakh. Here there is a small rider. For the first time, if somebody is taking loan, the limit will be 60,000, and from second time onwards, it will be 1 lakh. Please don't forget these figures. Look into the next one. Before going into the next question, what is MFIN? MFIN is Microfinance Institutions Network, which is a self-regulatory body. How to function microfinance organizations to regulate themselves. RBI is external regulator, but MFIN is their internal regulator. Right? Look into the next one. With the merger of ING Vysya Bank with Kotak Mahindra Bank, we have already discussed about this merger in the previous classes. Now the merger is complete. Now there will be no more ING Vysya Bank logos or ING Vysya Bank brand names. Everything will be in the name of Kotak Mahindra Bank. ING Vysya Bank has got more presence in southern part of the country. And now with the merger of ING Vysya Bank with Kotak Mahindra Bank became the fourth largest private sector bank in the country. Now Kotak Mahindra Bank is fourth largest private sector bank in the country. First one is of course ICICI, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank. Now the fourth one is Kotak Mahindra Bank and the fifth one is S Bank. Friends, look into the next one. Name the city which is declared as the global earth hour capital. We have already discussed in India, the earth hour capital was Thane and globally Seoul was declared, Seoul in South Korea was declared as the global earth hour capital. Please don't forget, we recently observed earth hour by switching off lights from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on March 28th, right? All over the world it was implemented. Look into the next one. Recently, NPPA has raised the prices of 509 essential drugs by 3.84%. NPPA is the authority which recommends to the government. NPPA means National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. It looks into the regulatory issues with regard to the pharmaceutical sector. So please don't forget, NPPA means the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. It recently recommended and the government raised the prices of 509 essential drugs by 3.84%. Most of these drugs are essentially required to treat hepatitis, cancer, diabetes, and the prices were raised by 3.84%, and this figure of 3.84% normally they arrive at based on the wholesale price index over a period of time. Right? Look into the next one. Baba Ramdev has been appointed the brand ambassador to promote Yoga and Ayurveda and will get the rank of a cabinet minister to promote Yoga and Ayurveda. Recently, Haryana government declared Baba Ramdev as the brand ambassador. He will be in the rank of cabinet minister and the state here is Haryana. Look into the next one. Which of the following is the state-owned infrastructure lender to finance infrastructure sector? You may ask a question, what is infrastructure? Infrastructure is having world-class roads, world-class airports, world-class railway lines, bullet trains. This all infrastructure. World-class logistic ports. These are all falls under infrastructure sector. So to finance the infrastructure sector, Government of India started this IIFCL, India Infrastructure Finance Company Limited, in the year 2006. This basically looks into the aspect of financing infrastructure related projects. Right friends, look at the next one. Grammy Museum will celebrate renowned sitar player's 95th birth anniversary on April 29th. Name the sitar player. He is the famous sitar player, Bharat Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar, and his music album. And Grammy Museum will celebrate the sitar player's anniversary by depicting various pictures, by depicting various music albums. And remember, this Grammy Museum is in Los Angeles in United States of America, and please don't forget, Pandit Ravi Shankar will be the first Indian musician to get this honor by Grammy Museum. Pandit Ravi Shankar is the first Indian musician to get this honor. Look into the next one. Name the port in the public sector. I have already told you public sector means government ownership. Port in the public sector which carried the highest freight traffic in 2014-15. What is freight traffic? Carrying of goods. The port which handled maximum goods in the year 2014-15 is Kandla port. Kandla port is in Gujarat. It handled maximum traffic out of all public sector ports. The second place is Paradip port in the state of Odisha, and the remaining two ports, JNPT and Mumbai, are in Maharashtra. JNPT is Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust and Mumbai port. These two are in Maharashtra. Right, look into the next one. Xiaomi has recently stated that it created the world record by selling 2.12 million phones in 12 hours. Xiaomi recently stated it sold 21 lakh phones in 12 hours. This is world record as claimed by them, and Xiaomi phone belongs to China. Please don't forget Apple United States of America, Samsung South Korea, Xiaomi is China, right? The finance minister has recently unveiled regulations for India's first IFSC. What is IFSC? IFSC is International Financial Services Center, and at present in the world, Singapore, Dubai, New York, London, these are all international financial centers. In India, the first international financial services center is going to come up in Gujarat, in Gift City, which is near Gandhinagar in Gujarat. Gift City, we have already discussed, is coming up near Gandhinagar in Gujarat, and IFSC is going to come up. India's first IFSC is going to come up in Gift City in Gujarat. Please don't forget. Look into the next one. EPFO. What is EPFO? Employees Provident Fund Organization, which takes care of retirement needs of the employees. EPFO put on hold payment of minimum pension of rupees 1000 per month from April 1, 2015. Government announced minimum pension will be rupees 1000 at present. There are some retired employees or widows of retired employees who are getting less than 1000 pension, 300, 400, 500 like that. And government notified that the minimum pension will be 1000, but due to some procedural problems, that same could not be implemented from April 1. Right? Government announced the minimum pension will be rupees 1000, but it could not be implemented from April 1 by Employees Provident Fund Organization because of some procedural drawbacks. Right? Look into the next one. For the year 2014-15, exports fell short by. Normally, exports are expected to grow, but unfortunately, in the year 2014-15, exports fell short by 8%. The target for the exports 340 million tons, but we achieved close to 314 million tons. The target is 340 million tons. We achieved 314 million tons, which is not a palatable situation for the Indian economy, but we are safe because the international oil prices reduced. Right? Look into the next one. Richie Bennott, who has died recently, was the well-known television commentator, and he was the former captain also. He belongs to Australia. Right? Look into the next one. Name the company which signed an agreement with the Areva of France to increase the localization and to reduce the cost of power. I would like to tell few words. Jaitapur nuclear power project, supposed to be established by the France firm Areva could not go much ahead because of some teething problems. During the Prime Minister's visit recently to France, Areva of France signed an agreement with L&T of India to produce some of the products required for producing nuclear energy by L&T. This will reduce the cost of power. So, the problems related to Jaitapur nuclear power project were solved by the Prime Minister during his visit to France, and Areva of France signed with L&T of India to increase the production of localized components required for the project. Right friends, here the answer is L&T. Let us move on to the next one. Hrushikesh Moolgavkar recently passed away at Pune. He was the chief of Indian Air Force during the 1970s. Hrushikesh Moolgavkar, who passed away recently, was the chief of Indian Air Force during 1970s. Friends, look at the next one. Syrian peace talks were held in recently Moscow. Syria, almost the country is divided on sectarian lines. Peace talks were recently held in Moscow, but the main opposition has not participated in the talks. So please don't forget, Syrian peace talks were recently held in Moscow, but not much breakthrough was achieved. Look into the next one. Name the state where a bandh was observed. As government announced resettlement of Pandits in special zones. Recently, government announced that the Pandits who were displaced from Jammu and Kashmir almost 25 years ago will be resettled in special zones in Jammu and Kashmir, but it created a lot of controversy and subsequently government withdrew this decision. Here the answer is Jammu and Kashmir. Look into the next one. Thousands of people formed a human chain of 28 kilometers to mark the 100th week of cleaning of Bagmati river. Bagmati river is in Nepal, which passes through capital Kathmandu. The cleaning of this river, people took it as the first priority. They started cleaning almost 2 years ago, and during the past 100 weeks, several citizens took part in the cleaning operations, and to mark the completion of 100th week, recently a human chain was formed over a length of 28 kilometers, and a lot to learn from Nepal as far as cleaning of rivers is concerned. Here the answer is Nepal. Look into the next question. Jamaat-e-Islami leader Muhammad Kamaruzzaman was executed for alleged wartime atrocities. The country is Bangladesh. During the liberation of Bangladesh during 1971, there were several wartime atrocities, and recently Muhammad Kamaruzzaman was executed for his wartime atrocities, which led to death of several persons in Bangladesh. Right? Look into the next one. Name the country which attended Summit of Americas held in Panama City for the first time. Panama City recently hosted the 7th Summit of Americas. What is the meaning of Summit of Americas? Summit of Americas is nothing but congregation of heads of government from various countries in South America and North America, and Cuba recently for the first time attended this conference. We have already discussed in the previous classes. Cuba and America are going to forge a relationship. The ties between Cuba and America were severely strained since 1961, but both the countries are in the process of improving their ties now, and in this connection, participation of Cuba for the first time in the Summit of Americas assumed significance. Friends, look at the next one. Name the state which launched pepper drones for mob control and surveillance. Drones we have already discussed, and the unmanned aerial vehicles will use pepper wherever some mob is to be dispersed. So, the state here is Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh recently announced that they will use pepper drones. Right? What is meant by drone? Please look into the picture. Right? Friends, look into the next one. Name the state which launched its first village secretariat in Sind Haibatpur village. Recently, Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar in the state of Haryana, and he declared that each and every village will have village secretariat in future. The answer here is Haryana. Look into the next one. Name the state government for the first time in the country which launched tour package for the visit of industries. Gujarat Tourism Development Corporation recently launched tour package for visiting industries. First time in the country. That means in that tour package you can see the nano factory in Sanand in Gujarat, the Amul factory in Anand, Gujarat, and like that you can see several industries. Right? This is the first time that any state government launched tour package for the visit of industries. The answer here is Gujarat. Look into the last question of this week. Name the country where Mahatma Gandhi statue was defaced recently. The answer here is South Africa. Unfortunate incident. Mahatma Gandhi's statue was defaced in Johannesburg recently. And with this, let us conclude this question and answer session for 5th week. Have a nice day. Thank you.